Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Operation Status Quo on a Thursday as we make our way through another week. Another week of joy and happiness and togetherness. Don't you feel that way when you come here to Operation Status Quo? That's how I feel. Even though, quite honestly, during the live streams, it would be fun to have, some people on to actually engage with, but hey, as long as you're seeing it at some point and it brings a smile to your face, that's all I care about, right? And even if it doesn't bring a smile to your face, even if you just saw it and it made you feel something, even if it made you feel quite honestly disgusted, that's good too. Excuse me, it's just about evoking some sort of emotion. Nah. That's not what we do here on Operation Status Quo. It's all about sending positive vibes, encouraging you to be your best. That's really everything that goes on here. It's all really a very simple message. I'm just a simple man, a man of the people who loves people out there and likes to put a smile on my face so I can share that smile with you and hopefully create a smile on your face as well, because, the world is so heavy and so serious at this time, and there's so much confusion. And, we're all trying to figure out what's happening next and how, where we're going to land and how we're going to make our way, through the rest of our lives. I don't know how, actually, I can't say how everybody thinks about that in a way, only because I'm sure maybe it's generationally, people who are older than me are probably, it's even more difficult, to make changes and adjust to a new way of being. I feel like at my age, I'm kind of in the middle, but if you got people who are young and aren't used so much to the older ways, then I guess it's not a big deal that everything is crumbling all around. Unfortunately, though, for the younger people today, just with our current financial system and stuff, with the inflation and the, anyway, everything just being so horribly overpriced, houses and everything else, it does make it difficult for people to start their life, or I don't know, whatever you want to say, just feel settled, put money away, have something in reserves, all that type of stuff. I met a guy today, interesting younger guy who does the irrigation systems in this neighborhood. Real nice guy, and he's in his early 30s. This poor guy in his early 30s. I teased with him too because he said he's got 7 kids. 7 kids. I said, "Geez, 7 kids." I said, "You're a busy bee over there." He says, "I never really cared for watching TV too much." I said, "Yeah, well, there you go. Either watch TV or you have 30 kids. It's one or the other." Hey-o. I said, "I bet now you wish you would have just binged watched Netflix for a while." He laughed. He said, "No, I love my kids." I mean, you should love your kids. You shouldn't have kids if you don't love them. You shouldn't have pets if you don't love them. You shouldn't even have yourself if you don't love yourself, quite honestly. It's all about love. So that's what we're doing. I don't know how I get off on these crazy things. I really just want to talk to people. I just want to just talk. I just want to talk. What's great about YouTube is, I could talk all the time. Talk to myself, talk to but what's great about yes, I could just talk, and it's like it's like I'm reaching people in a way, because I know I do reach some people out there. I know I got some dedicated people out there, and I really do appreciate you guys who stick with me. But it's a crazy world here on YouTube, and like I said yesterday, I have no algorithm to fall within so that the show can make it anywhere. It's just kind of lost in cyberspace, basically, because I'm a unique entity unto myself, and that's just the way it is. And what can I do? Actually, I'm really appreciative of that, because I don't want to be cookie cutter like anybody else. So anyway, I'm Pete Palma, and hello, welcome to Operation Status Quo on a Thursday. This is the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. And today is the 30th of November. We wrap up November, the last month of the year coming up. Wow, another year goes so quickly. They fly by. The years fly by one by one. You ever see the musical Les Miserables? So how soon they fly on, and I am old and will be gone. Sorry, I apologize. You guys know I like to sing, so I got to throw something in there. Anyway, let me get to some sort of point here before I totally lose the interest of anybody out there. Today, I said it's the 30th of November, the good year 2023, and today's program is indeed entitled, ladies and gentlemen, Taunted and Taxed. That's how I feel about the poor American public out there when I think about how our tax dollars are being spent. And I speak on this quite regularly. lately. It's something I never would have really brought up before. It's the interesting thing about YouTube. Here I go on a quick little tangent, but sometimes I feel like I say more honesty, on YouTube than I do like anywhere else. It's almost like, if I meet people or a group, and I'd say I'm almost afraid to tell people to watch my YouTube because I'm like, well, now they're going to really know how I think. I'm not afraid to do it though. I find comfort in being real that way. I think we should all really be real. I think we should all be real all the time, not just like, for YouTube, but I really don't make anything up to try to, be showy or say anything over controversial or anything. I'm really just myself and like to express, what vibes with me. And I feel like, quite honestly, as crazy as it sounds, like YouTube is a place that, once it's on the internet, it's forever. It's public. I'm sure people can go through my videos and take little clips of this or that and find ways to horribly chastise me or make me look like a villain or whatever the case may be. But once it's out there, it's out there. But, it's okay. Like, I feel like it's okay. I have no qualms about, what I put out and say. I feel it's a fair representation and reflection of what I think and who I am. And people who really know me in my life, they know what I'm all about. And if any person that I ever get to know on a one-to-one level really understands me. So, well, generally, but what I'm trying to say. I don't try to hide anything or make anything up. I really just speak from who I am and what I don't know, whatever comes out of my mouth in the 20 to 30 minutes that I sit here and flab my jaws, jab my jaws, flabber, I don't know, whatever the frig I'm trying to say. So anyway, today's program, Taunted and Taxed, because as you know, and I talk about it, that's what I'm just saying. I'm surprised that I even do because I probably shouldn't. But either way, I do work in procurement for the federal government, which is buying services, supplies for the organization for which I work. And I had a meeting today, and I wasn't even going to talk about this. Wasn't my intention for the show today. But after this meeting, I really thought I have to come on and tell the poor American people out there how horrible it really is and how much your money's really being wasted. I'm sure you realize. First of all, just the level of government intrusion on all facets of our lives. You see how much money is being wasted to fund these programs and people that really don't serve a purpose, right? They more or less just, cause, dismay in our lives. And contracting, what I do is absolutely no different. I mean, basically, it's just like, to me, I look at it as just money laundering, the way it's done. But it's not like, actual business people doing business. It's a bunch of bullshit, and just wasting money on crap that generally we don't really need. And it's not even that we don't need everything that is purchased. I mean, sometimes there are legitimate needs and purchases and such, but just the way they do it and the amount of people that they put on a job to do it and the amount of oversight, within it, and the amount of money being paid to the people to do it, it just doesn't really equate, You're not getting your money's worth. Let me tell you that. It's not like a value meal. You're not getting your money's worth. So today we had this meeting and the leadership last week, I guess, was away at this leadership symposium. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is just, that just shows you in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, leaders that are already leaders, they have to go to a symposium to learn how to be leaders. Like, why do we put people in positions of leadership that don't really know what it is to be a leader? See, the organization I work for now is, I have to say, a lot more dysfunctional than the organization I worked for prior. The organization I worked for prior to this one was is still, more established, and there was, even though it's a lot of bloat and waste, there was a flow to the work, and the work, kind of got done, even though it's still, wasteful and everything, but the work did get done, but in this particular organization, things don't seem to be getting done so much. It's newer, it's remote, so they're trying to work out all the kinks, I guess, or whatever, but it's not brain surgery, right? I mean, like, if you hire people and have a job, like, there's a function, there should be, like, that should be before you even, like, it's like, you're going to open a little grocery store, or a convenience store, or a hardware store, or whatever you're going to open, a pet store. You're going to open some sort of, a beauty boutique. You're going to open a store. You're not going to open it, right, and then figure out, let's see, this is a hair salon, so the people come in and there's no chairs for them to sit to get their hair done, or there's no shampoo. Like, you wouldn't have something like that, right? Like, you would actually know what you need before you start your business. You would have everything everything built and ready to go. So when you open, boom, you have a functioning process. You don't just like start a place and then figure out, what you need afterwards. It makes no sense, but that's how the government operates. And the end of September is always the end of the fiscal year, and that's when there's a lot of expiring money that has to be placed on contract and such before September 30th. And I guess this year we didn't do too well meeting the goals. A lot of stuff kind of got left unfunded, or weren't able to meet the needs of the customers and blah blah blah. So they had this whole leadership symposium, to talk about their lessons learned. It's like, what lessons learned? You failed at your job. That's the lesson. That's the lesson learned. Like, you guys aren't organized enough to do something that's been, a practice in federal government work for, God knows how many years, contracts, right? When I think back on it, one of my great uncles, my grandmother's sister's husband, he actually worked in contracts right after World War II. So, it's been around a long time. You think there would be some sort of like kind of flow by now, just in general, no matter, even if it's a new place starting. But so here's the funniest part about the whole thing. So the one big boss is talking today and goes on about talking about how the big boss, has this great idea. And now all the leaders, the high leaders, people who are being paid probably around a good $150,000, you know what I'm trying to say, of your taxpayer dollars, right? This is the grand plan that they came up with. They are all now going to be a superhero. They each have a superhero assigned to them, and the characteristics of that superhero reflect their personality and how they are going to implement, new ways of doing things so that we can be, more efficient. I know I'm getting old here, people, but am I out of my effing mind? Okay. So this is what your taxpayer dollars are doing for some big mahaf, to come up with an idea to say, we're all going to be superheroes. You'll be Batman and I'll be Superman, and you could be Aquaman and you could be Green Lantern and you be Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? Like, and they're going to relate. And then they say, as we move forward, we're going to be revealing, to the groups who each, person's superhero is. And I couldn't believe what I was listening to, I'm just thinking, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you guys, you failed. Like, you failed. I can't believe it. I just can't get over it. This is the whole thing about leadership, like a real leader, isn't trying to be a leader per se. A leader just is a leader, like someone who has a presence, who has the insight, you don't have to be an expert on anything, but the insight and the ability to recognize how tasks need to be completed and to understand the people you have within your group and who's best at what to complete those tasks. That's what a leader is. You don't need to go to a symposium and say, I'm Batman, you know what I mean, to figure out how you're going to be a leader, or now we're going to make a new spreadsheet to track this, and we're going to make another spreadsheet to track that. And I was just like, and they just went on and on and on about, all this type of stuff. And I just felt like this is a short one today, really, because it's not really any more in depth than that, but it's your taxpayer dollars, right? And, and just think about the government, and how it's grown, and think about how many employees really are in the federal workforce, and just saying, these people are all getting paid, but where's that money coming from? It's coming from your tax dollars, right? Even myself. I'm the first to be critical. And let me just say this, I know I'm guilty too, because I have the job. It is what it is right now. I would prefer not to have the job, but I got to pay my bills too. And as I work towards how I'm going to take the next steps, in the meantime, it is what it is. But I've always had difficulty in any job I've ever worked because, I'm just not a follower, and I'm not a company man, and, I'm none of that stuff. I'm the first one to point out what's going wrong. I'm the first one to question authority. I'm the first one to, say these practices aren't efficient. I'm the first one to call out the leaders and say, well, you said this and this, but your actions show this and that. And that's why I've always been, in trouble for most of my career with any kind of job that I've had. And then, of course, reasons why I haven't, moved up. I wouldn't even think of trying to be a supervisor or one of these higher positions. It's like it's bad enough where I am. The only reason I survive right now, quite honestly, is because I work from home, and I keep such a distance that it's like I'm just like hiding in the shadows. It's like I don't even think they even know if I'm there or not. Sometimes I don't even hear from anybody. So it's really great. I can tolerate that as long as. But if I really had to be involved, like these people are involved, that they're actually because I check my computer, they're online like all day long, and this document and that document. Like there's absolutely zero chance in hell that you will find me giving up my whole day from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon or whatever to sit at that computer and look at their nonsense. Not for nothing. Not only is the work itself nonsensical, these people aren't. I don't want to insult, but general people are just kind of program bots of society, right? They're not thinking bigger. They're not thinking their own true essence, how powerful they are. They're just happy to have a job, and they're all a bunch of suck ups, and they're happy to have a title. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel like somebody. It's just and what I see even for how things are today, it's so crazy because the way the world has changed and all this hands-off approach, as far as like, I get these emails all the time. Make sure you take time off during the holidays, step away from the computer. They're always worried about, you take time off, don't pressure yourself. And I'm like, well, no problem there. I'm not pressuring myself at all. I feel great. I don't even need to use the leave. I just don't do anything. Oh God, no. I mean, I do something if I really have to do something, but I'm not going to be one of those. I see the people. It's always the same. You know how it is. Whoever works in an office type job, you guys know. I don't have to tell you. You always get those suck ups and the wannabes, and who's the goody that's always got something to say. And I would like to talk about some takeaways of what I learned from the symposium. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's just like ridiculous. And these people, like, again, they're making $1.50, big money. Your money, right? And then where's that, first of all, that's what I was kind of saying. Where's the money even coming from? Coming from you to pay out all these people, money that doesn't really even exist, money that they're using to launder to their business cronies for the things that they want to buy. And I can't even get into, I don't want to even get into some of the details of that stuff because maybe I could get sued. I have no idea. But if anybody's out there and wants me to be an official whistleblower, let me know. I'd be happy to appoint. He named names. I'll give you all the names you want. He named names. But yeah, when this woman came on today and started talking about the whole superhero thing, and she went on a whole conversation about how they're, each person is going to be each leader is going to be a superhero and the traits of that superhero. And I'm like, am I watching, is this a Marvel movie or are you guys like doing work in business? It's like, listen, you can get rid of all these people. Just put me in charge and we'll take care of everything in 10 minutes. We'll just get the shit done and everybody goes to the beach. I mean, that's what I don't understand about these people. Why do they want to do this? Like, why do you want to sit there all day? Again, it goes, if they're from a level of excited about being a superhero, when you're like a top line government employee with a big salary like that, and like, you're going from, we don't have I have no idea why we failed so badly at the end of the fiscal year and everything was, unable to get done. But now I'm going to be Aquaman, and everything's going to be good because I'm Aquaman now. What's the world coming to? This is your tax dollars. And I'd like to end with this really today, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to propose that we all stop paying our taxes. I'm really seriously considering it because why would you give your money to people that are wasting it? Would you just give your money away to would you go to the mechanic and give him your money and he doesn't fix your car? You wouldn't do it, right? Like, you're not going to go to a restaurant and just walk in and give him $100 and not get a meal, for your family. So, it's the same type of thing. You're paying all this money and you're really not getting anything for it. Believe me, you're not, and on top of it, what they're doing with that money, not to go down a whole nother road, with all the wasted dollars that are going to fund these campaigns around the world that are killing people and stuff. So that's a whole nother thing. I'm not getting into that today, but I really just had to come on and share about this thing about the superhero because I just couldn't believe what I was listening to. So anyway, I mean, that's what you're paying for out there. So let me tell me what you think about, and let me know in the comments. I'd love to know this. what about starting a movement to not pay taxes? All I need is one other person to go in on this with me, and I'll be happy to not pay my taxes, because all I want is a friend, a bunk buddy in the jail cell. So I just need one person to know that we're going to go in, full force together. And but seriously, I think that people should stop paying their taxes. If everybody just didn't pay their taxes, what are they going to do? F you. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what are you going to do? You're going to come after the whole country? I think people should consider it, because obviously they're not being responsible with your money. Not just the levels where I work, but the whole level, the Treasury, whoever's in charge of all of it. The current administration, whoever. I'm trying to say, no one's being responsible with your money. So you should wait to see results. Listen, you guys go out and show me a plan and show me how it's going to be executed, and and then I'll contribute if I feel that it's a worthy cause to contribute to. That's what the government should do, right? They should say, here's the agendas that we have set forth for this year. We want to do this. We want to do this. We want to do this. And then the taxpayers go, all right, I'll give you a little bit for that one, but I'm not paying for that one. I'll put a little bit over here. That's a good cause. You know what I mean? It should be something like that, as opposed to they just blatantly rob you all the time. And that's one of the reasons I kind of, stay with the government in a sense. Like, when I really think about it, it's just like, it's all, if I was really working, if I had my own business, then I got to give money out of everything I earn to them. I might as well just, take it from the pool. I'm paying myself back in a way. Like, if you work for the government, you get taxed out of your salary, but all your money is tax money anyway, really. So, I don't know. It's just a crazy thing. I really can't wait until this shit changes. It's sickening, and it's a disgrace. And I look forward to, again, I said this before, when the time comes that I can leave, I'm going to do a nice show here called I Quit. You know what I mean? Or maybe I'll say I resigned. Maybe that sounds nicer, but, or Pete has left the building. But anyway, what superhero would you want to be? Can you imagine going to your job and saying, "Listen, I think we should, I'm gonna be Green Lantern today. I'm Shazam." Oh man. At this level, we're not talking about like children, right? We're talking about grown adults that are supposed to be intelligent, and some of them are intelligent. They're obviously hog-tied too, in a way, to the constraints of the system. But then again, just goes to how wussified everyone is, and no one has the guts to stand up to the system and say, look, it's blatantly obvious that this is not working and our system is flawed, and we're just not going to do it. Because as a leader, in a position where I'm responsible for overseeing the spending of the taxpayer dollar, I cannot ethically allow myself to proceed in this manner. That's one of the reasons why I don't do anything. I'm like, honestly, this is all bullshit. I can't do it. I'll take the check for now, but I can't actually participate and give any credence to anything you're doing, because it's just ass backwards. And I've said this a million times. You can cut the federal workforce down by 2/3 of the amount of people and get triple the work done. Believe me, and it's really just a shame, because as Americans struggle today, this is where your money's going to, some goof deciding that they're going to be superheroes and and never even get anything done. Just talk all day long about nonsense and what spreadsheet they're going to use, and blah 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 blah. It's just over the top. So that's your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen. Here, this is your tax dollars at work right now. I think I'm still signed on in my downstairs. My other computer. Here, this is your taxpayer dollars at work. Hey-o. So anyway, that's it. Stop paying taxes. Let's start the movement. I want to start a movement that we're just, maybe that I can get the show to grow through that. We're going to stop paying taxes. We're going to, so let's get a group. You like this episode, put some comments in there. Let me know you're with me, and we'll start a whole campaign, and it'll make it a lot easier once January hits. We don't have to pay taxes and, pay a tax guy or, file anything or worry about anything. And that's it. And we just, if the whole country does that, we're in good shape. We don't have to worry about about it. So that's what I encourage all you people out there to do, to really realize, at the very least, I just want to be, because I'm, like I say, we observe status quo, we flow with quo, we got to figure out our own flow with quo. This is what's going on, right? And I don't think we should be asleep to it. I don't think we should accept it. It's you guys, everybody is working out there. People with, for real jobs, working hard. I make a lot of jokes about, me being this way with this job. But, the truth is I started working when I was 12 with, delivering newspapers. I worked in multiple restaurants, grocery stores. I worked in retail. I worked landscaping. I did some electrical work for a while when I was younger, a little bit. I've done so many jobs. DJing. I used to DJ weddings, teaching yoga, like I still do now. Those kind of things, like it's not about not working, not hustling or anything. I got the ethic. I'm all about doing it, but I am not going to give myself to a bullshit system. So I'm just trying to hang in there as long as I can. So in the meantime, I'll be on my way out as soon as I can. So it's not about that. It's about, it's about how wasteful our society is. And there's people out there working really hard, and they're going to take all this tax dollar money and pay these people bloated salaries and say that they're Superman, and then send a bunch of money over to Ukraine and Israel and all that crap, while American families are struggling to buy groceries to feed their family. Like the guy I talked about, the irrigation guy's got 7 kids. Don't you think maybe he would appreciate some of that money coming back, so that he can have a nice life for his family when he's out there, working hard every day? So anyway, that's just some stuff to think about. That's what we do here on Operation Status Quo. We just have things to think about. Some things that make you go, So now if you have any questions about how your tax dollars are being wasted, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer. All right. Hey, that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I always appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, why not? Like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. And until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.